3 months ago, I received a message that chilled me to my core. A longtime viewer, Sarah, wrote to me about a beautiful antique locket she'd found at an estate sale. Ever since I brought it home, she wrote, everything in my life has fallen apart. My relationships are crumbling, my energy is drained, and I keep having the same nightmare over and over. I knew exactly what was happening to Sarah because I've seen it countless times before. She had unknowingly invited a cursed object into her sacred space. But here's what terrifies me. Right now, as you're watching this video, millions of people are living with cursed items in their homes, completely unaware of the spiritual devastation these objects are causing. You might be thinking, cursed items? That sounds like something from a horror movie. But the truth is far more unsettling. These objects are everywhere, in antique shops, at yard sales, maybe even sitting on your shelf right now. And they're not what you think. They don't levitate or drip blood or whisper at night. Their power is far more subtle and far more dangerous. These items act like spiritual black holes, slowly but systematically crushing your vibration, blocking your blessings, and creating chaos in your life. And the scariest part? Most of them look completely innocent. That's why they're so effective at destroying lives. Because by the time you realize what's happening, the damage is already done. I know this because I used to be a collector. I filled my home with unique and mystical objects, proud of my spiritual collection. But what I didn't understand then, what I wish someone had told me, was that some of these items carried energies so dark, so destructive, that they nearly destroyed everything I'd worked for. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 7 most dangerous cursed items you need to avoid at all costs. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to identify these spiritual traps, protect yourself from their influence, and cleanse your space if you already have one. But more importantly, you'll understand why these objects are becoming more common and more powerful right now, in 2024, than ever before. But before I reveal the first cursed item, which might shock you because it's probably in your home right now, you need to understand how these objects actually work. Because what I'm about to share isn't just ancient wisdom, it's cutting-edge spiritual science that explains exactly why these items have such devastating power over our lives. You see, everything in this universe operates on frequency. Every object, every thought, every emotion vibrates at a specific rate. And just like a tuning fork can make another fork vibrate just by being near it, these cursed items emit frequencies that literally force your own spiritual vibration to match their lower, darker energy. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt something was wrong? That heavy, thick energy that makes your chest tight and your thoughts cloudy? That's not just in your head. That's your spirit's natural defense system warning you about dangerous frequencies. Think about it like this. Your phone picks up invisible signals from cell towers all day long. You can't see these waves, but they're powerful enough to transmit videos, messages, even your favorite TikToks across the world in seconds. Now imagine if your phone could only connect to towers sending out corrupted signals. Your entire digital life would fall apart. That's exactly what these cursed items do to your spiritual frequency. They act like corrupted spiritual transmitters, broadcasting negative energy directly into your auric field 24 hours a day. And just like your phone automatically connects to the strongest signal tower, your energy body naturally attunes to the strongest frequencies around you. This is why the first cursed item on our list is so incredibly dangerous: antique mirrors. I know what you're thinking, but I love my vintage mirror. It looks so beautiful on my wall. Trust me, I understand. But here's what the antique dealers don't tell you. Mirrors don't just reflect light. They absorb and store energy. Every emotion, every argument, every dark moment that ever happened in front of that mirror, it's all still there, trapped in the glass, waiting to be released. You might have noticed that some days you look in your antique mirror and feel absolutely terrible about yourself. Your energy drops, your confidence disappears, and that negative self-talk gets louder than ever. That's not random. That's decades, sometimes centuries of accumulated negative energy literally reflecting back into your spiritual field. But it gets worse. The second cursed item is even more common, and you probably received it as a gift: secondhand jewelry. Every piece of jewelry worn by someone else becomes spiritually programmed with their energy signature. Their traumas, their failures, their unresolved emotional pain, It's all encoded into the metal and stones at a quantum level. That beautiful vintage ring you found at the flea market, it might have belonged to someone going through a bitter divorce. That antique necklace could have been worn by someone during the lowest point of their life. You're literally wearing their spiritual baggage around your neck. And the third cursed item might shock you because most people think it's actually protective. Found religious objects. I'm talking about religious symbols, statues, or sacred items that you randomly discover or get drawn to buy, especially if you don't fully understand their spiritual significance. Here's the devastating truth. These items often carry the strongest curses of all. Why? Because they've been disconnected from their proper spiritual lineage. It's like trying to plug a European appliance into an American outlet without a proper converter. The spiritual voltage is all wrong, and it can fry your entire energetic system. I learned this lesson the hard way. 3 years ago, I found a beautiful statue of a deity at a local thrift store. I was drawn to its peaceful expression, its seemingly calming energy. Within weeks, my meditation practice fell apart. My dreams became dark and confusing. My spiritual connection felt completely blocked. It wasn't until I consulted with my spiritual mentor that I realized what was happening. That statue wasn't just decorative. It was a sacred object that required specific ritual care and understanding. By keeping it as simple decor, I was unknowingly disrespecting its spiritual power, and that disrespect was bouncing back to me as a powerful curse. But here's where it gets really interesting, and honestly, a bit scary. These first 3 items are just the beginning. The next cursed item on our list is so powerful, it can actually rewrite your destiny. But before I reveal it, you need to understand how to protect yourself if you already own any of these objects. Because simply throwing them away isn't enough. In fact, disposing of them incorrectly can make the curse even stronger. Before I reveal the 4th cursed item, I need you to understand something crucial about spiritual energy. Every object in your home is either lifting you up or pulling you down. There's no neutral ground in the spiritual realm, and the most dangerous items are often the ones with the strongest emotional attachments. This brings us to the 4th cursed item, and I'll be honest, this one hits close to home. I'm talking about inherited family heirlooms. That old pocket watch from your grandfather, the wedding ring passed down through generations, the family portrait that always hung in your grandmother's living room. These items carry more than just memories. They carry the entire ancestral weight of your family line. Now you might be wondering, but these are precious family memories. How can they be cursed? Here's the truth that took me years to understand. Love and curses can exist in the same object. That family heirloom might be deeply treasured, but if it was present during moments of family trauma, betrayal, or unresolved pain, it becomes a spiritual anchor for those energies. Think about your own family history. The arguments that never got resolved, the secrets that were never spoken, the patterns that keep repeating generation after generation. These heirlooms don't just witness these cycles, they preserve them, passing them down just as surely as DNA. The 5th cursed item is even more sinister: estate sale furniture. Every piece of furniture absorbs the energy of the space it occupies. When you buy furniture from an estate sale, you're not just getting a bargain on a vintage piece. You're bringing home the energetic imprint of someone's final days, their last moments, their unfulfilled wishes, and their attachment to the physical world. I recently worked with a client who bought a beautiful antique writing desk from an estate sale. She thought it would inspire her creativity. Instead, her writing became dark and depressing. She started having vivid nightmares about a man sitting at the desk, frantically writing letters he could never send. When we researched the desk's history, we discovered its previous owner had passed away, with deep regrets about words left unspoken to his family. But the 6th cursed item is where things get truly dangerous. Ancient artifacts or replicas, those authentic tribal masks from the gift shop, those ancient Egyptian symbols on your wall, those mystical crystals with supposedly ancient powers. The spiritual marketplace is flooded with items that claim to carry ancient wisdom, but instead carry corrupted frequencies that mock and distort the original sacred energies. These fake or misappropriated items don't just block your blessings. They actively invite trickster energies into your life. You think you're connecting with ancient wisdom, but you're actually opening doors to spiritual frequencies that love to create chaos and confusion. And now, we've arrived at the seventh and most dangerous, cursed item of all. This one is so powerful, so insidious, that most spiritual teachers won't even discuss it publicly. But you need to know about it because right now, these items are being mass-produced and marketed specifically to people on a spiritual path. When I reveal what it is, you'll understand why so many light workers and spiritual seekers find themselves stuck, despite doing everything else right. But first, let me share a powerful protection technique that can help if you recognize any of these items in your space. Because the next part of this video might trigger some deep realizations, and you need to be energetically prepared for what I'm about to share. Every spiritual master throughout history has taught one fundamental truth. Protection begins with awareness. When you understand how energy works, you gain the power to transmute even the darkest frequencies into light. So before I reveal the most dangerous cursed item, let me share 3 ancient protection techniques that have been preserved through generations of wisdom keepers. The first protection method is energetic boundaries. Imagine your aura as a sphere of pure light surrounding your body. Every morning when you wake up, close your eyes and visualize this light becoming crystalline, impenetrable. Any cursed item in your space will try to penetrate this field, and when it does, you'll feel it. A slight pressure, a heaviness, maybe even a subtle anxiety. That's your spiritual immune system alerting you to the threat. The second protection technique comes from ancient temple practices. Sound vibration. The masters knew that certain frequencies could shatter negative energy patterns. That's why they used bells, drums, and sacred chants. You can use the same principle with a simple practice. Take a clear crystal bowl or even a regular glass and circle it with your finger to create a pure tone. Let the sound penetrate every corner of your space. Cursed items cannot maintain their negative frequency when exposed to pure sound vibration. But the third protection method is the most powerful of all: conscious transmutation. This is what I used to cleanse the family heirlooms in my own home. Every object contains both light and shadow energies. By consciously connecting with an item's highest potential, you can literally reprogram its spiritual DNA. Hold the object in your hands, close your eyes, and feel its current energy. Then, with love and intention, visualize pure golden light flowing from your heart center into the object, transforming any darkness back into light. Now, with these protection tools in place, I can finally reveal the 7th and most dangerous cursed item. But I need you to stay with me here, because what I'm about to share might challenge everything you believe about spiritual practice. The most dangerous cursed items in the modern world are mass-produced spiritual tools and trinkets. Yes, I'm talking about those factory-made crystal wands, those machine-printed sacred geometry patterns, those mass-produced, blessed objects that fill metaphysical shop shelves. These items aren't just energetically empty, they're spiritually toxic. They're created without reverence, without understanding, without proper spiritual alignment. They're spiritual fast food, marketed to seekers who are genuinely trying to elevate their consciousness. Think about it. How can a crystal activate your higher chakras when it's been mined with exploitation, processed with chemicals, and marketed with false promises? How can a sacred geometry pattern unlock your DNA when it's been printed by machines that have no understanding of the energetic codes they're reproducing? These items don't just fail to raise your vibration, they actively suppress your natural spiritual abilities by creating a false sense of connection. I discovered this truth the hard way. My own spiritual awakening was blocked for years because I surrounded myself with these commercialized spiritual tools. I had all the right crystals, all the right symbols, all the right sacred objects. At least that's what the marketing told me. But my energy kept getting lower. My meditation practice felt hollow, and my manifestation power was completely blocked. Everything changed when I met an elder who had preserved true spiritual lineage. She took one look at my spiritual toolkit and said words I'll never forget. "Child, you've surrounded yourself with spiritual plastic. These objects are like processed food for the soul. They promise quick enlightenment, but leave you spiritually malnourished." But here's the good news. Once you understand this truth, you can begin the process of real spiritual connection. True spiritual tools don't need fancy packaging or marketing claims. They find you when you're ready through genuine spiritual experiences and authentic teachers. The highest spiritual frequencies can't be mass-produced. They can only be transmitted through direct experience and genuine spiritual connection. So what do you do if you recognize these cursed items in your space? How do you begin the process of spiritual cleansing and authentic connection? The answer lies in a forgotten practice that the ancient mystery schools used to transform cursed objects into powerful allies. The ancient mystery schools understood something profound about spiritual energy. There's no such thing as a permanently cursed object. Every item, no matter how dark its energy, carries within it the potential for transformation. The key lies in a sacred practice known as spiritual alchemy. When I learned this practice from my elder teacher, she shared a truth that changed everything. Cursed objects are simply sacred items that have lost their way home. This means that even the darkest object can be restored to its original divine purpose through conscious, loving intervention. The transformation process begins with sacred space creation. Find a quiet moment during the hours just before dawn. This is when the veil between physical and spiritual realms is thinnest. Create a circle of protection using sea salt and place 4 white candles at the cardinal points. This creates a container strong enough to hold both the shadow and light energies that will emerge during the transformation. Next comes the most crucial step, energetic dialogue. Take the item you wish to transform and hold it at your heart level. Close your eyes and begin a silent conversation with the object's core essence. Ask it 3 questions. What truth do you carry? What pain do you hold? What light do you wish to become? Then listen deeply. The answers might come as feelings, images, or direct knowing. This is where most people stop, but the real power lies in what comes next, the alchemical rebirth. As you maintain heart connection with the object, begin to hum or tone the sacred sound, OM. This vibration creates a frequency bridge between the object's current state and its highest potential. As you tone, visualize golden light spiraling through your crown chakra, down through your heart and into the object. Now this is absolutely critical. You must maintain this connection until you feel a subtle shift, like a weight lifting or a flash of light in your mind's eye. This is the moment of transformation, when the object releases its cursed energy and reconnects with its divine blueprint. Some objects transform in minutes, others might take an hour or more. Trust your intuition to know when the process is complete. But here's what the ancient texts warn us about. Transformation is not a one-time event. Just as you need to regularly cleanse your physical body, transformed objects need ongoing spiritual maintenance. Once every full moon, spend time in meditation with your transformed items. This maintains their elevated frequency and prevents them from absorbing new negative energies. The beauty of this practice is that it doesn't just transform the objects, it transforms you. Every time you engage in spiritual alchemy, your own ability to transmute negative energy grows stronger. You become more discerning, more energetically sovereign, more capable of maintaining high frequency in a world full of spiritual challenges. And this brings us to the ultimate truth about cursed objects. They are some of our greatest spiritual teachers. Every cursed item that crosses your path is an opportunity to strengthen your light, to practice discernment, to deepen your understanding of energy and consciousness. When you learn to transform cursed objects, you learn to transform every aspect of your life. Remember, you are not a victim of these energies. You are a powerful spiritual alchemist in training. Every challenge, every cursed object, every energetic obstacle is part of your initiation into higher consciousness. The ancient mystery schools didn't teach their students to avoid darkness. They taught them to transform it into light. This is your invitation to step into that ancient lineage of spiritual alchemists, to become not just a passive spiritual seeker, but an active participant in the great work of transformation. Your sensitivity to cursed objects isn't a weakness. It's a sign that you're awakening to the subtle realms of energy and consciousness. As we close this sacred teaching, I want you to know that your presence here, your willingness to engage with these deep spiritual truths, is no accident. You're part of a growing wave of souls who are remembering their power to transform darkness into light. Together, we're restoring the sacred purpose of every object, every space, every moment. If this teaching has resonated in your soul, if you feel called to deepen your understanding of spiritual alchemy, I invite you to join our upcoming Sacred Circle. The link is in the description below. Until then, stay sovereign in your energy, discerning in your choices, and remember, you are the alchemist you've been waiting for. See you in the next video, where we'll explore the hidden powers of spiritual protection that the ancient temples used to maintain their sacred frequencies. Trust me, what I'm about to share will revolutionize how you think about spiritual safety. Until then, keep your light bright and your discernment sharp.